Right, we're going to go ahead and get started tonight. I hope everyone is having a great evening. So, welcome to our 2024-2025 College Coaching Senior Program Celebration. We have made it to the finish line. Today is Tuesday. I'm Dr. Candy Chambers, people who are unfamiliar, but we're going ahead and get started for our class of 2025. So, welcome to all students, parents, guests, people who will watch the recording later. So, welcome, welcome, and welcome. All right. So, before we get into our student spotlights, I compiled all the data as of today for our snapshot successes. So, we had 17 students who finished the program, and they represented 6 states. So, North Carolina, Michigan, Texas, California, Tennessee, and Washington State. There were 171 acceptances across the 17 students, which is very, very commendable. And the total scholarships received, my Zoom thing is in the way. I can't even see it down there, but it should be 2,600 and I think that's, oh my goodness, my Zoom is in the way. But 600, I think that's 99,228, which is amazing for only 17 students. It really shows the hard work and dedication that they put in. Actually, let me say it again. It's 2,789,228. A student won $1,000 scholarship since I made this PowerPoint. So that is very, very commendable for our students. Also, since the program is rooted in this element of writing development, the students wrote many, many essays. And so over 300 essays written. These essays included Common App essays, supplements that students had to write, meaning that about 4 or 5 extra essays per school on their list, scholarship essays, as well as finals essays. A lot of our students competed for like comprehensive scholarship programs, which carried essays and also interviews. So a lot of writing throughout this process, but they made it through. All right. So we're going to begin. How this is going to work is I will spotlight each student, all right? And then once I finish with their spotlight, everyone can come off of mute and say congratulations to the students. And so that way each one can get their kudos. And so they're in alphabetical order. So we'll go from there. All right. So let's get started. All right. So first up tonight, we have Miss Camille Brown. All right. And so Camille wrote some pretty cool essays this cycle of the admission season. One essay or like one experience that she discussed was about her experiences as being a ballerina. And so how she evoked like teamwork and made sure people felt included on her dance team. And so it was very cool to see how she articulated that. And she also talked about um, her desire to become an anesthesiologist. And so how she's, taking classes on the college level. She actually graduated with her associate's degree as well as a high school diploma, and how she's really looking forward to being in the medical field. So here are Camille's successes. So she attends Cabarrus, well, she has attended because she's graduated, but Cabarrus Kannapolis Early College in Concord, North Carolina. She was accepted to North Carolina A&T State University, Southern A&M University, Hampton University, South Carolina State University, University of North Carolina at Greensboro, Xavier University in Louisiana, Fayetteville State University, and Wingate University. She received a $10,000 a year scholarship to Xavier University and also $1,500 to attend the University of North Carolina at Greensboro. And Camille will be attending North Carolina A&T State University in the fall. So let's give Camille a round of applause with some congratulatory remarks off of mute.
Congratulations.
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 Beautiful. Good job. All right. Next up, we have Miss Jade Coleman. Jade is a student in Georgia. And one thing I liked about Jade was she articulated her desire to become a sign language interpreter. So her sign language teacher in high school introduced her to this profession, and she's really excited about going into the field to help people communicate. And so Jade Coleman attends North Cobb High School in Kennesaw, Georgia. She was accepted to East Carolina University, Georgia State University, and the University of North Carolina at Greensboro. And she's still waiting on scholarships, but she will be attending East Carolina State University in the fall. So let's give Jade a round of applause.
Congratulations.
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 Hey, all right. Next up, we have Mr. Joshua Dancy. All right, so Joshua wrote some pretty cool essays this cycle. One of them that was really one of my favorites is that he described his experience attending the National Museum of Natural Science in Washington, D.C. as a child. And he really loved like the rock exhibits. And so like since then, he has expressed interest in going into geology, but having like astronomy type of lens to geology. And so he is planning on pursuing that career field, which I think is very cool and unique. He also wrote a really cool essay about his experience with the game of chess. And I have students who generally would write chess essays each year, but I like how he talked about how his parents are chess coaches, well, they were chess coaches for him when he was growing up, but also for his little brother now. And as he's growing up and learning how to play chess. And so just those lessons that chess has taught him. He also really, really cool, like a kind of a tribute essay to his grandfather who passed away. And I thought he just put a lot of meaning and information into his essays that really, really stuck with you. And so Joshua attends Charlotte Engineering Early College High School in Charlotte, North Carolina. He was accepted to Hampton University, North Carolina State University, RPI, University of North Carolina, Asheville, and then University of Maryland, College Park. He will be, well, let me wait. He received a scholarship to Hampton University. He received their university scholarship, which is their most prestigious and highest scholarship award, which includes tuition, room and board, books, all fees. It's worth $50,110 a year for 4 years. He also received a $35,000 scholarship per year to RPI, $2,500 scholarship per year to UNC Asheville, and then a $10,000 scholarship per year for 4 years to the University of Maryland. Joshua also is a member of the National Technical Honor Society. He also he was a member of the Battalion for the Alpha Fraternity Incorporated. He also completed his 3rd year as teen chaplain and teen executive board member with the Queen City chapter of Jack and Jill of America. Joshua will be attending Hampton University in the fall, so let's give him a round of applause.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Awesome.
All right. Next up, we have Miss Jaden Givens. I actually met Jaden, I think maybe like 2 or 3 years ago. She was just going into high school, maybe 9th or 10th grade. So it's really cool to see how she had grown and developed now since, she's a senior. But Jaden wrote some really cool essays this cycle. One was about her experience with therapy and how it really assisted her with her development process and just being able to talk through her thoughts and not being afraid to seek help, right? And just emphasize the importance of mental health. And she also wrote a really cool essay about her desire to be a speech language pathologist. She was very, very adamant about choosing schools that had her program so she can make sure that she's prepared to go into the field. So Jaden attends G.W. Carver Magnet High School in Houston, Texas. She was accepted to the University of Nevada, Las Vegas, Clark Atlanta University, Louisiana State University in Baton Rouge, Dillard University, Georgia State University, Xavier University of Louisiana, North Carolina A&T State University, Morgan State University, Hampton University, Alabama State University, Alabama A&M University. And then her scholarships were as follows. So to LSU, she's received a scholarship for $15,000 a year. She also received a $3,500 a year scholarship to Xavier University of Louisiana. She received $1,125 a year to Morgan State University, $15,500 scholarship to University of Nevada, Las Vegas. She also received a $2,000 scholarship from the Aldine Education Foundation. And then lastly, again, my Zoom is cutting off, but I think that's a $500 scholarship for Scholarship America Big Future as well. Jaden will be attending Louisiana State University in the fall So let's give her a big round of applause.
Congratulations.
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 All right, this is beautiful. Let's see what's going on in my chat. Okay. All right. Let's see who's up next. All right, Amira Johnson is up next. So what do I say about Amira? I have a lot of things to say about Amira. So the reason I say that is because we worked really closely throughout this admission season because she wrote a lot of essays. All right. But one thing I like about Amira is she just never gave up. She kept writing. She kept asking me to review, and I love that for her. Not only just for her as a high school student, but it really speaks volumes to who she is as a person, but also how, she would be able to thrive in college. And so two essays or two experiences that stood out to me were one, she wrote about her leadership in the Tri-M Music Honor Society at high school, and just navigating like student dynamics, navigating her leadership roles, and then also just her experiences in band. And like, it was just so cool to read about like her emphasizing school culture and like just school spirit. And like, you could just really tell she has enjoyed her musical experiences, even in her own family. Like, I didn't even know like her dad played an instrument as well. So it was really cool to read those essays. And then also she wrote about her cultural heritage. In one essay, I really like, I think it was her comment of essay, she talked about how she has learned kanji, which is the shared alphabet between Japan and China. And so she talked about it from a language perspective. And then she also was able to travel to Japan to meet with her family last summer with her mom and sister. And so it was really cool that she was able to integrate her culture into her essays during this season. So I really commend her for taking different creative approaches with her writing. And let's look to see what her successes were. So Amira attends North Mecklenburg High School in Charlotte, North Carolina. And she received acceptances to Elon University, Winston-Salem State University, University of North Carolina at Charlotte, University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, North Carolina State University, Howard University, University of North Carolina at Greensboro, North Carolina A&T State University, and also University of South Carolina. And here were her scholarships. So she received a scholarship to Elon with their presidential scholarship at $10,000 a year. She also received a scholarship of $18,000 a year to Howard. Also a $43,000 scholarship over 4 years to University of South Carolina. She also received a $2,200 scholarship to UNC Greensboro. She received a $1,000 scholarship also to UNC Greensboro. She received a scholarship to NCSU for $3,065 a year. She also earned a scholarship in the Honors College at UNC Charlotte for $2,000 for the first 2 years. And then also $3,000 scholarship a year through their Chancellor Scholarship. At North Carolina A&T, she received a $6,000 a year scholarship. And then she's also won some local scholarships. So she was the recipient of the IB Scholars of North Carolina Scholarship for $500 and also the AKA Ethnic Minority Scholarship for $2,000. So Amira will be attending the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill. And wait before the applause because I forgot, she's also the president of the Tri-M Music Honor Society. She's a secretary, senior class representative at her high school. She's an IB student and an AP student. She's a competitive dancer. She works on the school news because she wants to be a sports journalist. All right, those are all the amazing things about Amira. So let's give her a hand.
Congratulations.
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 Great, beautiful. All right, up next we have Mr. Julian Johnson. And Julian is also one of those special children because he, like some students who come to me, like, they have their options, right? They're trying to figure out. And some students are like, I know what I want to do. Like, just help me get there, right? And so Julian, I really enjoyed working with him because he plays basketball, but I wanted to highlight a few other things about him in addition to his athleticism. So first, he is an Eagle Scout. And one of his essays he wrote about creating a prayer garden in East Charlotte. And he wanted to really make it a peaceful place for people to be able to come, explore serenity and just have a communal space in their neighborhood. And so he talked about the process of getting people together to put the garden together, even staying motivated throughout the project, for this ultimate goal, which was, like I said, to create this peace or prayer garden. He also talked about his experience in learning what he wanted to major in college. And so one of his teachers introduced him to an IRA account. And he's like, wow, that's pretty cool. And so that motivated him to pursue business in college. So I thought that was really cool. So Julian attends Providence Day School in Charlotte, North Carolina. He was accepted to Howard University. He will be attending Howard University, but he earned a full athletic D1 basketball scholarship. He also earned a merit scholarship at $13,000 a year. He is in the National Honor Society. He also has been admitted to the School of Business at Howard University. Let's give Julian a hand for his accomplishments as he transitions over to become a Bison at Howard University.
Congratulations.
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 All right, who's up next? Sophia. All right, so Sophia Landry is a student out of California. She's on the West Coast. And so one thing I like about Sophia, and I put it on the slide, is that I would call her a woman with a plan. All right, so usually I'll come to students with the plan of action for this admission season. And what I love about Sophia is she really took her plan and made it her own. She wanted to make sure that she represented herself in the best way to her colleges. And so she had a plan in place and she executed the plan, right? So she applied, received her acceptances, but I really love that she took charge of the process. And also Sophia's an artist. She likes to do art projects, and I thought that was pretty cool as well. So Sophia attends Palisades Charter High School in Palisades, California, but she is from Inglewood, California. I'll make sure I know that because her mom told me earlier this week. But she was accepted to North Carolina A&T State University, Grambling State University, Dillard University, Jackson State University, Benedict College, University of Nevada, Reno, also Talladega College. She's still waiting on her scholarships, but she will be attending North Carolina A&T State University. So let's give Sophia a great round of applause.
Congratulations.
Congrats.
All right. Next up, we have Mr. Jordan Lee. All right. Jordan was a really cool kid to work with. Every time I would meet with him, I just would laugh or he would really just brighten my day because I think he's funny. I'm not sure if you think he's funny, but he's really a jolly kid to me. And he just tells it like it is. And I just love working with him as far as like his positive attitude. And so two experiences stood out to me when I was thinking about his slide. One was his essay about brotherhood, and it was a supplement, but he really talked about his friend group in school. And so how they came together. I don't think it was expected that they came together, but they came together and they really formed this bond that they were able to share, insights with each other, share hobbies with each other. And I thought it was a really cool essay to show what brotherhood meant to him. He also is a soccer player, but he wrote his essay about this idea of teamwork, but also like navigating challenges through playing soccer. And one essay I really liked that he wrote was he compared his soccer challenges to like his food. He has some food allergies, and so like how navigating both of those worlds has really made him a stronger young man, and having fortitude, and also just moving forward despite the obstacles. So I really liked his writing. I thought it was really personable. So Jordan Lee attends University of Detroit. I think he's graduated, but University of Detroit Jesuit High School in Detroit, Michigan. He was accepted to Eastern Michigan University, Oakland University, Wayne State University, Loyola Chicago University, North Carolina Central University, Xavier in Louisiana, Xavier in Cincinnati, Hampton University, Norfolk State University, Morgan State University, Tuskegee University, and North Carolina A&T State University. He received a scholarship to Loyola Chicago for $16,500 a year, $10,000 a year to Xavier in Louisiana, $37,000 a year to Xavier in Ohio, $10,000 a year to Tuskegee University, and also received a full ride scholarship to Wayne State through the Detroit Promise Scholarship. Jordan will be attending North Carolina A&T State University to become an Aggie. So let's give him a round of applause and some congratulatory remarks.
Go Jordan!
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Right. it's like every time I change the slide, I'm like, I have a lot to say about this student. Okay, so next we have Miss Sydney Lewis. All right. I actually I've known Sydney, but I actually officially met her like last year, where she started this club at her high school called HBCU Bound. And it was basically to expose students to the greatness of HBCUs. And I thought it was really cool that she took on that leadership role. They had nice hoodies, they had meetings, they had like a official awards day, like a celebration day. I think they call it a signing day. People who were going to HBCUs. So I thought that was a really cool idea on her part to take upon that charge. But two essays or two experiences that stood out to me were, one, she talked about her experience in or working with students through the Special Olympics. She wrote about this student named Isaiah and just the importance of like motivating him. They were doing a race, and just the importance of like motivating him to finish, having people to cheer him on. But she connected it to this larger idea of inclusivity and the importance of making sure that all people feel welcome in different spaces. So I really like that essay. Another experience she discussed in many essays were her passion for affordable housing. And so she has a desire to, go into real estate and business, but she did really a lot of research on issues of affordable housing, especially in the city of Charlotte. And so, she's another girl with a plan, right? She wants to be a part of the solution to make sure people have the housing that they need. So I thought that was really, really good for her to express that. So Sydney attends Cox Mill High School in Concord, North Carolina, and here are her acceptances. So she was accepted to Hampton University, Southern University, Shaw University, Lane College, Clark Atlanta University, University of Maryland Eastern Shore, North Carolina Central University, Tennessee State University, Xavier University of Louisiana, University of North Carolina Charlotte, Voorhees University, Louisiana State University, Spelman College, Howard University, and North Carolina A&T State University. Her scholarships include the Achiever Scholarship, which is $26,000 a year to Howard University, the Elk Scholarship, which is $1,000, the Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated in Concord, which is $1,000, Carolina Pines Links, $10,000, the Cox Mill High School Booster Clubs, $3,000, AKAs of Concord, I think it's $1,000, my screen is cutting off. And then I saw her mom Saturday. She received another $1,000 scholarship as well. And she has been inducted into 5 National Honor Societies. She made the cheer team at Howard, which is really cool. She was awarded a Student Achievement Award. She had honor roll throughout the year. She also served in student government, and she was recognized as a 2-time leadership student and also graduated summa cum laude. So let's celebrate Sydney as she transitions to Howard University.
Congratulations, Sydney.
Congratulations, Sydney.
Congratulations.
All right. Hey. Hey, let's talk about Bryson. So Bryson is one of my students out of Tennessee. All right. And so Bryson wants to be an engineer. And so he talked about his inquisitive nature. He even talked about when he was like a little boy, he would get in trouble a lot. And like, he was just like, I just needed something to keep my attention, right? And like how, those experiences have really cultivated his, like I said, curiosity, his inquisitive nature. And he wants to, bring that over into his career. He also wrote a really cool essay. I think the essay prompt asked him about like issues that he's passionate about, or like some type of like a diversity type of question. And he talked about sexuality, right? And so how it's important for us to be inclusive of people who have different sexualities. And he even talked about maybe starting a gay student alliance with one of his friends in college. But he just brought attention to those issues that he, wanted to bring light to. But I thought, again, one of these students who put his really personal touch to his essays. So Bryson attends Oakland High School in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. He was accepted to the University of Alabama at Huntsville, Morehouse College, Howard University, Middle Tennessee State University, Tennessee Tech University, Alcorn State University, Jackson State University, and Virginia Tech. He earned a $14,000 a year merit scholarship to UAH, $18,500 a year scholarship to Howard, $14,000 scholarship to MTSU, $15,000 a year scholarship to Tennessee Tech, full tuition to Alcorn State, full tuition to Jackson State, $8,500 a year to Morehouse College, $12,000 a year to Virginia Tech. He also earned $2,250 a semester through the Hope Scholarship, and then also $2,250 a semester through the Tennessee Promise Scholarship. He earned $1,000 through the Martin Luther King Scholarship. He has been accepted into UAH's Honors College. He is graduating or has graduated with his IB diploma, which is a victory in itself. He's a multiple sport athlete, the captain of the soccer team. He was also the IB History Student of the Year. Bryson will be attending University of Alabama in Huntsville. So let's celebrate Bryson.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
All right. Ashley is up next. All right, let's see. Where do I start? All right. Ashley is another one of those students who wrote 1,000,000 essays. All right. So some of the students each cycle, the essays are doable, still a lot, but it's doable. And there are other students, I'm like, I know they're tired because anybody would be tired. But one thing I like about Ashley is that it's different things I'll say. Number one, she kept her stamina up for writing her essays because she had a lot of essays to write for her just admissions, right? Not even talking about scholarships, just admissions. But another thing I really like about Ashley was that she was open to feedback. And sometimes it's hard for students to receive feedback, and I understand it. People are really close to their writing. But one thing I like was her mom would meet, she'll read the feedback, they'll, digest it, figure out how they like to revise, then they'll send it back, right? And we will go through rounds and rounds of their process. But I love that they kept a good attitude about the entire process. One experience that Ashley wrote about was a book. This is actually the book. I found it on Amazon. And basically she and her sister wrote a book, but it was basically a part of this larger project called Layla's Labs, where they were working to expose, young girls to African Americans or just women in STEM. And so she talked about her experience like at a library program where this little girl, she just remembered this little girl wanted to come and learn more about the scientists, and it was very instrumental in her life. And she also wrote a really cool essay about serving at this community center for the blind, but basically how that, again, one of these experiences that shows inclusivity and it shows like just serving our community and sometimes the community we don't think about. So I thought she did a really good job with that, but very, very creative writer. She would do very well, even though she's not going to be an English major, she would do very well with her writing in the future. But Ashley attends Hickory Ridge High School in Harrisburg, North Carolina. She was accepted to University of Pennsylvania, Duke University, the honors program at UNC Chapel Hill, North Carolina State University, Louisiana State University, North Carolina A&T State University, also in the Honors College, Davidson College, University of Georgia in the Honors College, Boston University, Virginia Tech, University of Pittsburgh, Princeton University, Columbia University, and also Howard University. Then for her scholarships, she earned a $10,000 a year scholarship to the University of Georgia. She also earned the full-ride academic scholarship to UNC Chapel Hill. She earned the full-ride Cheatham White Scholarship to North Carolina A&T State University. She also earned the full-ride Carr STEM Scholarship to Howard. Ashley will be attending Princeton University in the fall. And so let's give her a hand. Let's celebrate Ashley.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
All right. Hey, next up, we have Mr. Jared Morgan. Jared is one of my students out of Greensboro, North Carolina. And so let's see, where do I start? Jared was another student who had to write a lot of essays. He wrote a lot of more so scholarship essays. He had to write a lot of, but admissions as well, I should say. But two experiences stand out to me about Jared. Number one, Jared is an Eagle Scout, which is very, very commendable. One thing he talked about with his Eagle Scout project was this idea of community and how he had to really rally people together to finish like this courtyard project at his high school. And so he also talked about other scouting experiences where he had to like lead workshops and like really just take a leadership bird's eye view on some of his experiences to really show that leadership perspective of being an Eagle Scout. So I really enjoyed him, not just listing, oh, I'm an Eagle Scout, but actually demonstrating those principles through his activities. He also wrote a really cool essay about digital literacy. So his grandmother was scammed with how they're doing a lot of scams now on the internet, which anybody can be susceptible to. And so Jared took that situation and created a program for people to learn more about digital literacy, and specifically people of the older population. And so he did workshops, seminars, and just taught them different things to look out for as far as like protecting themselves. So things won't happen to them. So I thought that was really cool that he took that quote unquote bad, well, it wasn't quote unquote, it was a bad experience and turned it into something productive to help his community. So that was very, very commendable of him. So Jared attends Greensboro College Middle School in Greensboro, North Carolina. He was accepted to North Carolina A&T State University, University of North Carolina at Charlotte, University of North Carolina in Chapel Hill, North Carolina State University, Howard University, University of Richmond, Hampton University, and East Carolina. He earned a scholarship to Howard at $13,000 a year. He earned a scholarship to UNC Charlotte with $2,000 for the fall and spring semester, and then $5,000 a year. He also earned 2 full-ride scholarships to North Carolina A&T State University. One was a full-ride business scholarship through the D scholarship, and then the other was a full-ride scholarship through the Honors College through the Dowdy scholarship. So he ended up choosing the Dowdy. He also received a $15,000 scholarship to Hampton, and then he received a scholarship through the State Employees Credit Union, which will be renewable. So Jared is also a Ron Brown captain, which the Ron Brown program is a national program for student leaders. And so he will be attending North Carolina A&T State University in the fall. So let's give Jared a round of applause.
Congratulations.
Jared.
Congratulations.
All right, Raina is up next. All right, let's see. Let me find my notes. I have notes about Raina. Okay. So Raina is another one of my students who you could really hear her voice in her writing because her passion just came through. And so one experience that I like that she talked about, the middle picture is a book that she actually wrote about for one of her supplements. And she really just enjoyed it talking about mental wellness and how the person in the book shared their experiences. And it really showed her like the importance of talking about her feelings, being herself, being open to who she is as a person. And I really commended her for having like a 17, 18-year-old perspective on, the book. That was very, very like mature of her to think of that in that way. But she also talked about her desire to become a veterinarian. And so she wants to, like I said, be a vet, help her community through serving animals. And Raina, like I said, she has the positivity, the stamina, she keeps pushing. And that's one thing I really love about her spirit, which is a spirit of perseverance, and it's going to carry her a long way. Raina attends Northwest Cabarrus High School in Concord, North Carolina. She was accepted to North Carolina A&T State University, Berry College, Florida A&M University, Fort Valley State University, University of Maryland Eastern Shore, Virginia State University, Hampton University, Tennessee State University, High Point University, Tuskegee University, Clemson University, and Coastal Carolina University. She earned a scholarship to NCAT, merit scholarship for $5,000 a year. She also earned $3,000 through their agriculture program, or a department, I should say. She earned $15,000 plus room and board, plus a book stipend for each year at Hampton University. She also earned $4,700 at Virginia State University per year, $17,000 a year to Berry College. She earned the Presidential Scholarship at Coastal Carolina. And also in the Honors College, she earned $3,000 a year. She earned $5,000 a year at University of Maryland Eastern Shore, $10,000 a year at Tuskegee University, $13,925 a year to High Point, and she also earned $1,000 most recently, I think like last week, at Friendship Baptist Church as a scholarship. Raina went to HOSA States for veterinary medicine, and she also recently directed her first show through the Drama Club. So Raina will be attending North Carolina A&T State University. So let's give Raina a hand.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
All right. Who's up next? Joshua's up next. All right. Let me get my notes together. I have a lot to say about Joshua. Okay. All right, cool. So Joshua is a student out of Washington State. And so I'll tell a quick story. We were all on Zoom talking. Joshua, his mom, and I, and he just like we were talking about. He likes to. He's an orator, right? He likes to do theater. He's a man on the stage, right? Awesome kid. So all of a sudden, they just kind of randomly mentioned that he was on the stage at the Apollo Theater in New York. And I'm like, wait a second, can you repeat that? And so I'm like, that is awesome. Like, we have to hear that story. And so he wrote one of his essays about his experience in a monologue competition and how it led like to this final prize of being able to perform at the Apollo. And I know that would be an experience he would never forget because that's awesome in itself. But Joshua is very passionate about theater. I watched a clip of him. He did a speech at a Martin Luther King Jr. prayer breakfast. A phenomenal job. He just puts himself into the character, into the speech, and really allows it to blossom. So be on the lookout for Joshua Rhodes. Joshua attends Why Not You Academy in Seattle, Washington, and here are his acceptances. First, Bethune-Cookman University, North Carolina Central University, Wilberforce University, Jackson State University, Clark Atlanta University, Tennessee State University, University of Maryland Eastern Shore, Lane College, Shaw University, Lemoyne-on, Morgan State University, Alabama State University, Fayetteville State University, Norfolk State University, Dillard University, Hampton University, Fisk University, Grambling University, Delaware State University, Morehouse College, Howard University, and North Carolina A&T State University. Before I go to the scholarships, Joshua's email address is hbcubound@gmail.com. So he had a plan for HBCU acceptances, and I love it. And then his scholarships, he received a scholarship, a merit scholarship to Morehouse College for $10,000 a year. He also received the Oprah Winfrey Scholarship at $25,000 a year at Morehouse. And then he received a $15,000 a year scholarship to Clark Atlanta, $10,000 a year scholarship to Dillard University, $7,500 scholarship to Fisk University, $10,500 a year scholarship to Howard University. He also received a $5,000 a year scholarship through the Neurodiversity Alliance, $1,000 to the Tacoma Alumni Chapter of Delta Sigma Theta, and then also a $2,000 scholarship through the Tacoma Chapter of Kappa Alpha Psi. He was a Bill Gates Scholarship finalist, so he made it to the final round, which is very commendable. He also had high honors in high school. He was the Highland College President's List. On the president's list. He was the orator for the City of Seattle's MLK Annual Breakfast, and then also the orator for the Mayor of Seattle's Black History Month program. So let's give Joshua a hand.
Congratulations.
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 All right. All right. Next up, we have Miss Autumn Walker. All right. Let's see, where do I start with Autumn? Okay. So Autumn is another one of those students that wrote a lot of essays. But one thing I would say about Autumn is that, again, this element of perseverance and this element of like, I'm going to add in my essays, all the great things I've done, but I also want to add in my essays how I've helped my community. It was really like a thread in between in her essays of that kind of dual approach. But one essay that I really enjoyed reading by Autumn was one she wrote about her love for thrifting. And it was just kind of random. We were on Zoom talking through different ideas of how she could write her Common App essay, what she could write about for a Common App essay. And all of a sudden, they're like, I think her and her mom were like, you like to go thrift shopping. And so this thrifting essay just became like this beautiful flower that blossomed. And she really talked about not only the activity of thrifting, but how the clothes speak to her personality, or how like throughout her life, right? Like these clothes have like shown like her maturity and how she's grown and developed as a person. And so it was just really cool for her to even, take that risk really to write her essay about something that she really loved. And another essay I really enjoyed that she wrote was about her experience tutoring members of the football team in high school. And so she started working with them, and she puts in her essay that she had to tell them, like, smart girls also go to tutoring, so you're just fine, right? Like, people have to ask for help. And as a result, she worked with the boys, and like the football team's GPA increased, a lot of the members, well, overall team GPA increased. But she also just was really good at tying, like I said, these community efforts to like decreasing the school to prison pipeline, you know, or like understanding power and privilege, or just understanding social impact, even through her major of architecture engineering. So I thought it was very interesting that at 17, 18, she's able to connect these activities that she's doing to like this larger importance of how it will help our society. So kudos to her for that. So Autumn attends Renaissance High School in Detroit, Michigan, and here are her acceptances. First, Michigan State University, Oakland University, Eastern Michigan University, Western Michigan University, Wayne State University, Central Michigan University, Clark Atlanta University, Jackson State University, Tennessee State University, Alabama A&M State University, Alabama State University, Wilberforce University, Shaw University, Norfolk State University, South Carolina State University, North Carolina Central University, Lane College, Claflin University, Virginia State University, Hampton University, Voorhees University, Xavier University, Miles College, Howard University, North Carolina A&T State University, University of Missouri, and Morgan State University. Her scholarships include Western Michigan. She received $108,110 for a scholarship, which equates to a full ride. She also earned a scholarship to Wayne State University through their Heart of Detroit full ride scholarship. Also earned, I don't want to say received, she earned East Scholars full ride engineering scholarship to North Carolina A&T State University. And she was also a finalist for the Honors College scholarship at A&T State University. She received a scholarship or earned a scholarship of $32,000 to Eastern Michigan University. She also earned a $14,000 scholarship to Oakland University, $32,000 scholarship to Virginia State University, $33,312 to Alabama State University, $42,760 scholarship to South Carolina State University, $60,000 scholarship to Howard University, $60,000 to Hampton University, $34,000 to University of Missouri, $27,000 to Central Michigan University, $30,000 to Claflin University, $24,000 to Morgan State, $14,000 to Xavier, $10,000 to Miles College, $106,504 to Alabama A&M University. Then she also received some local scholarships. So she earned a scholarship for the Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Ann Arbor chapter for $1,500, the EAESSI scholarship for $1,000, the Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Detroit chapter for $2,000, the Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Lambda Rho Zeta Pontiac chapter for $2,000, the Zeta Phi Beta Phi Zeta Renaissance chapter for $1,000, the Sally Sin scholarship for $6,000, the United States JCI Senate scholarship for $1,000, the Cotillion Society Detroit Education Foundation for $7,500, the Sigma Gamma Rho scholarship, I think that says $500, and I think that's the Southfield Alumni Scholarship for Delta Sigma Theta Incorporated. My screen is cutting off, but you all can see the other two. I can't see them. But also, Autumn was accepted into the Honors College at Western Michigan University, Michigan State, Oakland University, Jackson State University, Wayne State University, North Carolina A&T State University. She's also a Run Brown captain, and she also was accepted into the HOME program, which is Helping People Orient and Mentor Engineers Scholar Program at North Carolina A&T State University. So let's give Autumn a round of applause.
Wow, congratulations.
Wow, congratulations.
Fantastic.
My baby.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, beautiful job. All right, next up we have Miss Sanai Wilkins. All right, let's see where do I start with Sanai. All right, Sanai is a student that I really love her personality in the fact that she just doesn't give up, right? She's a student who asks questions. She's not afraid to get clarification on things. She'll go and, kind of do the things I've asked her to do. She'll come back and ask more questions. Like, she's really, really communicative, and that's really going to take her far when she goes to college. As a professor, I love when students ask me a million questions because it shows they care about what they're doing. And so that's one thing I really loved about Sanai as we work together. So let's start with Dr. Pimple Popper. So as the students know, I really like for them to have a creative approach to their essays. And so now I think she was riding the cart on this occasion with her mom. And so we were talking about her career path in dermatology, and she really she wants to go into help people's skin conditions. And so I'm like, all right, you guys, how are we going to make, dermatology creative? And so I think it was her mom was like, Sanai, like, have you thought about Dr. Pimple Popper? And so she used Dr. Pimple Popper for her essays to show how she wants to be her own version of Dr. Pimple Popper when she becomes a dermatologist, or also I should say like a physician assistant, but she would have the focus in dermatology. And so I thought that was a really creative approach. And she also talked about her experiences as a ballerina, and then even just some of the challenges that she had health-wise with dance, but she was able to use those challenges to motivate others, and even created a short film about those challenges. But thought it was really cool to see some personality come out of her writing in the midst of her persevering through all the drafts and things I gave her to write and like revise. She stuck with me, so I really loved it about her. So Sanai attends Philip O'Berry Academy of Technology in Charlotte, North Carolina. She was accepted to North Carolina Central University, Wingate University, Gardner-Webb University, Winston-Salem State University, Morgan State University, High Point University, South Carolina State University, and also University of North Carolina at Charlotte. She received the Burger King Scholarship, which is $1,000 a year, and then also the Chick-fil-A Remarkable Future Scholarship at $2,500. And so Sanai will be attending the University of North Carolina at Charlotte in the fall. So let's give her a hand.
Congratulations.
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 And I also failed to mention that Sanai received an offer at UNC Charlotte to play flag football, and she maintained a honor roll all year. So I wanted to make sure I put the cherry on top for her acceptances and her successes, I should say. All right, let's see. Last but not least, I knew Blake was coming down the pipeline. So Blake is my last student, but I have a lot to say about Blake. All right, so Blake is a student that I really love that he is able to articulate his life experiences in his writing and through like a lens that really shows this element of critical thinking. And it's very rare to have a student to have this level, almost like a PhD level type of critical thinking at his age. And so it's rare I have to tell students like, how do I put it? Like, not to not sound so smart, but like, okay, let's see how we can tailor it right for our audience. And so he did a great job with, like I said, applying this kind of higher level knowledge and insights to the scholarship and admissions essay prompts. And I really commend him for taking that chance to really demonstrate how he critically thinks through things. One essay that he wrote was really cool, was about a Pokemon named Mimikyu. And I had never heard of the Pokemon before. And so when he brought up the idea to talk about how like Mimikyu's identity and how he like had to learn how to become himself and things, take off his cloak and be his true authentic self. And he compared that to himself. I'm like, that is so creative, right? Like I have students who write about, like fictional characters, but the way he was able to articulate in such an intelligent way, it really brought not only this cartoon to life, but it kind of made the cartoon turn into a real person through the writing on the page. And so he did a phenomenal job with that. He also wrote essays about his journey into learning about what he wanted to study in college was really about like autoimmune conditions because of his own experiences. But he articulated that through the use of the scientific method. And so there's this idea of discovery, inquiry, like all these different things we would associate with experimentation. He related to how he discovered his autoimmune condition, how he learned more about how autoimmune conditions affect people, and then also like treatment of them and how it depends on like, race, status, class, like access to care, and how he wants to be a part of the solution, as he goes through college and does research and things of that nature. So I said a lot about Blake because I said I was, but that's one thing I really wanted to share. But Blake attends Myers Park High School in Charlotte, North Carolina. He was accepted to North Carolina State University, Appalachian State University, Coppin State University, Hampton University, Howard University, Sewanee University, University of Minnesota, and UNC Greensboro. He earned a scholarship to Howard through their Capstone Scholarship at $13,000 a year. He earned the Aggie Merit Scholarship for $4,000 a year. He also earned a $15,000 a year scholarship to Hampton University. He earned a $32,000 scholarship a year to Sewanee University, $2,000 a year to UNC Greensboro, and $1,000 from the Charlotte Incentive Fund. Blake will be taking his intelligence to North Carolina A&T State University. So let's give Blake a hand.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Woo!
All right. So those are all the students. All right. Few more remarks. So thank you to all the parents, the supporters, and also the students. Thank you for taking this journey for 10 months. I told you it would go by, right? But thank you for trusting the process, being patient with the process, and with all the things we have going on in our nation. Some things are just kind of topsy-turvy in some ways, but you all rode the wave and are still riding the wave because it's technically not too much over yet because kids are not in college. But I appreciate you all for being very cooperative and working through this process. So my last comments here are for the students to stay encouraged. This is only the beginning, but I want you to reflect back on all the successes that you had in high school and use those as motivation when you enter into college. Sometimes they say when you get to college, you find out you're not the smartest person in the room anymore. And that's great, right? Because you can learn from your classmates and your professors, get involved on campus, and just enjoy your college experience. If life happens and you have to transfer out, you have to start over, take a gap year, all that's okay, right? But just keep your goals and try to move forward. Keep putting one foot in front of the other. Please keep me updated on any scholarship awards. I like to still celebrate with all the students because I know you all have worked very hard. If students ever need any letters of recommendation, if they want to, if I can find any scholarships for them when they get to college or any other support, always just let me know. I'm only one email away. Okay. All right, you guys. Any lasting comments or final thoughts tonight?
Dr.
I would
Candace,
like to
just
say
thank you for the whole process and for walking with us through this and being patient and working with excellence and pushing our students when they needed to be pushed. I just appreciate the work that you put into helping these young people. So thank you.
I appreciate that. Thank you. Okay. All
Dr.
right.
Candace, I just
yes,
want to
ma'am.
say we would not have been able to do this without you. Just the way you came in and helped Josh get organized and a plan of action. We are so grateful to you. God bless you. God bless you. God bless you.
Thank you. I appreciate it. It was a pleasure.
I want to say thank you so much. I don't think I could have gotten all the things I was able to get without you. So thank you so much.
You're welcome, Autumn. Good to see you. And hello to your mom. I see you in the corner. Okay. I think y'all are free.
Hey,
Go
Doc,
ahead.
we really appreciate all the support. I mean, this is the second time around for us. You worked with Sydney and, work with Jordan, and we're really excited for the future that he has there.
I agree. No, you're welcome. And thank you. I appreciate it. Your kids are rock stars.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Dr. Chambers, I just want to say thank you for all the work you did. Again, second time around for us. You helped us with some success for Amaya. And again, with Amira bringing out her writing style, and I think it's going to really take her far. So thank you so much for your diligence and your work with her.
You're welcome. Yes, she has a bright future in the writing world. So thank you for letting me work with her.
Dr. Chambers, just want to say thank you. Autumn, this is Autumn's dad, and we're a high octane family, and we needed somebody to kind of keep us anchored and keep pulling us in the right direction, which you did. And just thank you so much for just, how you helped and pointed us always in the right direction. And just want to say we can't wait to share your name with anybody and everybody who wants to do this along the way. Thank you so much.
I appreciate it. Thank you, Mr. Walker.
I just wanted to thank you because at the very beginning of my senior year, I honestly didn't think I was gonna get into college. So I just wanted to thank you because now I am more set in my future.
You're welcome, Raina. I'm glad to hear that. Thank you. I like that. That made my day. Well, everybody's comment did, but I love that comment. Thank you. All right, you guys. Well, these are all the kiddos once more. And like I said, keep me posted. But thank you all for joining in and actually coming to celebrate with the students. It's always the joy of the program is to see all their successes. I will say before I end, for all the students and parents, go back and look at that first spreadsheet we made and see how you come so far from August all the way into now. But other than that, that's all I have. So you all have a good rest of your night.
Good night.
Good night. Thank you.